Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that can shape your future just as much as your choices, your education, or your goals. It's the people you surround yourself with, your friends. More specifically, how important it is to find your real friends. Let me tell you something most people don't want to admit. The majority of people around you don't care about you. Not really. They care about what you can give them, your money, your status, your energy, your attention. And as long as you're giving, they're there, smiling, laughing, calling you bro, calling you family. But the moment the tables turn, the moment life punches you in the face and you're no longer useful, they vanish like smoke. That's the truth. So how do you spot your real friends? You look at who's standing beside you when you have nothing to offer. When the bank account's empty, when the business fails, when your health crashes, when the world turns its back on you, that's when you find out who's real. Because real friends don't love your money, your lifestyle, or your Instagram followers. They love you. They're not around for the benefits. They're around for the bond. And that's rare. That's powerful. Most people don't get this until it's too late. They get caught up chasing popularity. They surround themselves with people who clap for them, but it's all fake noise. Those same people are the first to turn into ghosts when times get dark. They won't answer your calls. They'll act like they're busy. They'll say, "I'm sending prayers," and never check in again. That's not friendship. That's convenience. A real friend is the guy who shows up when you're at your lowest. When the world's laughing at you, they're not. When everyone else doubts you, they believe. They don't need a reason to be loyal, they just are. Loyalty is in their bones, not their mood. That's the difference. Let me give you a scenario. Say you go broke. You lose your car, your house, your business, whatever. Suddenly the dinners stop. The party invites dry up. The group chat goes silent. You start to realize how many people were there for the lifestyle, not the life. But your real friend, he's knocking on your door with a plan. He's sitting down with you saying, "All right, let's fix this. What's next?" That's priceless. You can't buy that. You can't fake that. Real friendship is rare because it's built on character, not convenience. It's easy to be around someone when everything's going well. When you're successful, everyone wants to ride the wave. But when the wave crashes, most people jump ship. A real friend grabs a bucket and starts helping you fix the boat. I've seen this in my own life. People lined up when the money was flowing, when the success was loud, when the lifestyle was flashy. But when things got serious, when pressure hit, when the spotlight turned off, only a few remained. Those are the people I'll take a bullet for, because I know they'd take one for me. But here's what most of you need to hear. You've got fake people in your circle and you know it. You feel it. You ignore it because being alone is uncomfortable. You'd rather have fake company than honest solitude. That's a mistake. Because every second you spend with someone who doesn't genuinely care about you is time stolen from building a life with people who do. Stop wasting loyalty on people who wouldn't even give you honesty. Some of you need to cut people off today, not tomorrow, today. The ones who only hit you up when they need something. The ones who disappear when you're not winning. The ones who switch sides when it benefits them. Let them go. Because when you finally clean your circle, your whole life elevates. You stop carrying dead weight. You start moving faster, thinking clearer and living freer. But let's flip the coin. Are you a real friend? Because you don't get loyalty if you're not willing to give it. You want someone to ride for you? Ask yourself, would you ride for them? Would you check on them when you're tired? Would you back them in public and correct them in private? Would you hold it down when they're not useful to you? That's what being a real friend means. If you can't give that, don't expect to receive it. People out here thinking friendship is built on memories. Oh, we've known each other for 10 years. So what? You can know someone a decade and still not know their soul. You can laugh with someone every day and they'd still sell you out for clout. Time doesn't prove friendship. Loyalty does. Actions do. Pressure reveals. So stop measuring your relationships by how long you've known someone. Measure it by how deeply you've been there for each other when it mattered most. Some of the most real people you'll ever meet. They're not flashy, they're not loud, and they don't care about what you have. They care about who you are. And when you find those people, you hold on to them. You check in on them. You protect that bond. Because that's your real wealth. Not your car, not your house, your circle. Your circle is your armor in this world. If it's full of cracks, you'll break when life hits. But if it's solid, if it's made of real ones, you become unstoppable. So be ruthless with who you let close. Test people. Observe their pattern. Don't fall for sweet words. Fall for consistent action. At the end of the day, it's simple. Fake friends want attention. Real friends want the best for you. One adds noise to your life. The other adds value. One drains you, the other fuels you. Choose wisely, because the people you surround yourself with will either sharpen you like iron or rust you from the inside out. Your energy is your currency. Stop spending it on people who don't invest back. Let's get something straight. Most people around you are lying to your face. They're nodding, agreeing, flattering you, feeding your ego, and behind your back they're laughing or watching you fall. Why? Because being honest takes guts. It takes loyalty. It takes real friendship. And most people are too weak to give it to you. That's why the second key to finding real friends is this. They tell you the truth, even when it hurts. You think your real friends are the ones who always agree with you, who hype up every decision you make no matter how reckless, who never challenge you, never call you out, never tell you when you're being a clown. That's not friendship. That's emotional bribery. That's someone too scared to lose your approval. So they let you walk into disaster without a word. A real friend doesn't stay silent when you're sabotaging yourself. A real friend tells you when you're wrong. They'll look you in the eyes and say, "You're messing up. Fix it." Not because they hate you, but because they respect you, because they want to see you win, because they'd rather have you angry for 5 minutes than watch you destroy your life in silence. You see, fake friends are in it for comfort. They want peace, not progress. They'd rather keep things smooth, even if that means watching you fail. But real friends, they're in it for growth. They'll risk the awkward conversation. They'll take the hit. They'll make you uncomfortable, on purpose, if it means pulling you back from a cliff. I've had people get mad at me because I told them the truth. I've told friends their mindset was soft. I've told them their excuses were garbage. I've looked them in the eye and said, "You're lazy, and that's why you're losing." Some of them hated me for it. Some of them left. But the real ones, they listened. They leveled up. They came back and said, "Thank you for not letting me lie to myself." Because here's the harsh truth. You're not always right. And if everyone around you is acting like you are, then you're not surrounded by friends. You're surrounded by enablers. And enablers are dangerous. They keep you stuck. They keep you blind. They let you rot because they're too scared to rock the boat. A real friend doesn't want you to feel good all the time. They want you to be good. That's a big difference. They care more about your character than your comfort. They'll tell you to fix your attitude, clean up your habits, stop playing victim, whatever it is you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because truth is the medicine, even when it burns going down. People today are so soft, they treat honesty like an insult. "You're being harsh," they say. "You're judging me." No, I'm holding you accountable. I'm doing what no one else is willing to do because I actually care. If I didn't, I'd just smile and watch you fail. But that's not what real friendship is built on. Think about it. Would you rather have someone pat you on the back while you drown, or slap you awake and pull you out of the water? One gives you comfort, the other gives you life. Only a real friend is willing to be the one that slaps you awake, because they know you'd do the same for them. And listen, telling the truth isn't easy. It's not fun. It can damage the relationship. It can create tension. But real friends would rather face temporary tension than watch you live a permanently weak life. It's not about superiority. It's about standards. They hold you to one, and they expect you to hold them to one too. This is how you grow. This is how you evolve. Iron sharpens iron. Not foam, not feathers, iron. That means friction. That means sparks. That means pressure. You need friends who challenge your thinking, who force you to confront your flaws, who aren't scared to say that thing you're doing, it's wrong, and it's going to cost you. That's a gift. That's love in its rawest form. And if you find someone like that, someone who will stand in front of you and risk your anger, risk your misunderstanding, just to give you the truth, you don't let them go. Because that kind of courage is rare. That kind of loyalty is priceless. But let me flip it on you again. Are you that kind of friend? Are you willing to tell your friend when he's being weak? When he's chasing women instead of chasing purpose? When he's wasting time, feeding bad habits, staying broke, blaming the world? Are you willing to confront him, even if he hates you for a while? If not, you're not his friend. You're his audience. You're part of the problem. Being a real friend means standing in the fire for the people you care about. It means having uncomfortable conversations. Not because you enjoy conflict, but because you love the person more than their ego. And if you're not willing to go there, if all you ever do is nod, smile and agree, then you're helping them stay average. Most people don't have the spine to give or receive this kind of truth. But that's why most people stay mediocre. That's why they lose. That's why their relationships are shallow and their lives are built on illusions. Real friends break the illusion. Real friends wake you up. So look around. Who's being real with you? Who's challenging you to grow? Who's telling you the hard truths when you need to hear them? And more importantly, are you doing the same for the people you claim to care about? Because at the end of the day, the truth might sting, but lies will kill you slowly, and only a real friend will choose the sting over your slow destruction. That's what real friendship looks like.
You want to know another way to find out who your real friends are? Watch what happens when you win. That's right, not when you lose, when you win. Everyone talks about sticking around during tough times, and that's important. But you want to see someone's true colors? Start leveling up. Start making real money. Start getting in shape. Start attracting attention, building something, breaking free from the average. See who claps for you. See who doesn't. That's the test. Because let me tell you something most people don't understand. Jealousy doesn't always come from strangers. It comes from the ones closest to you, the ones who smile to your face, who pretend to be happy for you, but deep down they're hoping you fall. Real friends, though, they don't just tolerate your success, they celebrate it like it's their own. When you eat, they feel full. When you win, they're proud. Genuinely, not out of obligation, not out of envy, from the heart. That's rare, because most people are operating from a place of comparison. The moment you start shining, they start calculating. Why him? Why not me? They don't realize your success has nothing to do with them. It's not a race, but they turn it into one. And that's how you know they're not truly in your corner. Because a real friend doesn't see your growth as a threat. They see it as a reflection of what's possible, and they use it to push themselves further. See, if your success makes your friends uncomfortable, you're surrounded by competition, not community. And that's dangerous. That's how bitterness grows. That's how betrayal begins. You're out here grinding, improving, sacrificing, and instead of support, you're met with side eyes, passive-aggressive comments, fake praise. That's poison. You need to cut that energy out of your life. Immediately. You need people who inspire you and are inspired by you. Not people who secretly resent you because your wins remind them of their lack of effort. Not people who try to downplay what you've built because they're too insecure to build something of their own. You can't drag that weight with you and expect to fly. Real friends are wings, fake ones are anchors. Let me be clear, someone who only liked you when you were one of them, when you were average, struggling, confused, is not your friend. If they only loved you when you were failing, that wasn't love. That was comfort. That was control. Your glow threatens their shadow. Your evolution reminds them they stayed the same, and they hate you for it. Even if they smile while saying, "I'm proud of you." Real pride doesn't come with bitterness. It doesn't come with envy. A real friend will look you dead in the eye, see you winning and say, "Let's go, bro. I knew you had it in you." And when it's their turn, you'll do the same. That's the kind of bond that makes both of you That's what real friendship does. It amplifies you, not competes with you. But it goes deeper. Real friends don't just celebrate the end result. They see the grind. They know the blood, sweat, and tears it took to get there. They remember the nights you doubted yourself. They saw the failures. They stood by you when nothing was guaranteed. So when you win, they're not just clapping for the trophy. They're clapping because they watched the transformation. That pride is earned. It's real. The fake one, they weren't there for the process, so they don't respect the result. That's why they minimize your success. Must be nice. You got lucky. It's not that deep. You hear that and you better hear the truth in it. They were never rooting for you. They were just waiting to see if you'd fail. And now that you didn't, they're uncomfortable. That's why you need to protect your energy when you win. Don't feel guilty. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. If your success offends someone, that's their insecurity, not your problem. Winners don't apologize for winning. Lions don't ask sheep for approval. And here's the truth. Your real friends, your actual tribe, they want you to win more than they want themselves to win. Let that sink in. When someone loves you purely, your victory feels like their own. No jealousy, no hidden tension, just joy. You call them with good news, and they react like they got the deal, like they hit the number, like they're the one on the stage. That's real. You can tell a lot about a person by how they handle someone else's success. The ones who pull back, go quiet, or start nitpicking, they were never for you. The ones who lean in, get louder, and say what's next. Those are your people. That's your team. You've got to build a circle of people who want to see you rise, and who you want to see rise too. This isn't a solo mission, but you've got to choose wisely, because the wrong circle will slow you down, hold you back, or worse, make you doubt yourself. The right circle, they'll launch you, they'll fuel you, they'll keep you sharp. So look around. Who's really clapping when you win? Who lights up when you tell them your goals? Who listens, encourages, pushes, supports with no agenda, no envy, no fake smiles? Keep those people close. They are gold. They are rare. And if you've got even one person like that in your life, you're blessed. Because at the end of the day, your real friends want to see you win, and they don't need to lose to be happy for you. People talk about loyalty all the time, like it's just some nice idea you throw around to sound deep. But loyalty isn't some poetic word you tattoo on your arm or post in your bio. Loyalty is real. It's tested. It's proven when the stakes are high and the pressure's on. You want to know who your real friends are. Watch how they move when things get hard. Not just for you, but for them. Loyalty isn't just being there when it's easy to be. It's being there when it's difficult, inconvenient, even risky. See, most people are loyal to their mood, not to you. They're loyal when they feel like it, when the weather's good, when there's something in it for them. But the second they don't benefit, the second standing by you might cost them something, they switch sides or disappear. That's not loyalty. That's self-interest disguised as friendship. Real loyalty is consistent, no matter the situation. Real loyalty is standing behind someone even when the world turns against them, even when it's unpopular, even when there's nothing to gain. Loyalty isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's quiet, solid, unshakable. The friend who checks on you when everyone else forgets. The friend who defends you when your name's being dragged through the dirt. The friend who could betray you, who could expose you but doesn't. That's real, and it's rare. Most people don't even know what that kind of loyalty feels like, because they've never given it themselves. They've spent their whole lives bouncing from person to person, group to group, based on what's trending or what's profitable. That's why they don't recognize real friendship when it shows up, because loyalty intimidates cowards. It exposes their weakness. It reminds them of how shallow they are. So when you're a loyal person, be ready. You're going to intimidate people who only know convenience. And if you've got real loyalty in your blood, you better protect it. Don't give it to everyone. Loyalty is sacred. It should be reserved for the few who've earned it, not handed out like candy to anyone who makes you laugh for 5 minutes. Too many people get burnt because they confuse good vibes with good character. Just because someone's fun to be around doesn't mean they deserve your trust. Wait, test them. Let time reveal who's real, because time exposes what fake people try to hide. Watch how they talk about other people when they're not around. That's how they'll talk about you. Watch what they do when they're tempted to take an easier road. That's when their true loyalty shows. Loyalty is proven in silence. When they don't announce what they did for you. When they don't need credit. When they protect you behind closed doors and never even tell you. That's the highest level of friendship. But loyalty also means being the one who doesn't give up on your people when they fall. Anyone can ride with you when you're up. Anyone can clap for you when you're strong. But when your friend's broken, when he's making mistakes, when he's in pain or lost, are you still, or are you too proud, too busy, too cold to care? A real friend doesn't walk away when things get messy. He gets in the mud with you. He says, we're gonna figure this out. I'm not leaving. And listen, loyalty isn't blind. It doesn't mean agreeing with everything someone. It doesn't mean supporting self-destruction or ignoring truth. Loyalty also means accountability. It means calling someone out when they're slipping, but doing it out of love, not ego. A fake friend will let you spiral because it's easy. Loyal friend will risk upsetting you just to pull you back. You have to understand, loyalty is action. It's not talk. It's not promises. It's not all that fake drama where people swear, I got your back, no matter what, until it's time to actually prove. You want to see someone's loyalty? Put pressure on the relationship. That's when the real ones show up, and the rest make excuses. There's no loyalty in gossip. There's no loyalty in switching sides the second someone else offers a better deal. There's no loyalty in jealousy, in betrayal, in selfishness. Loyalty is choosing the relationship even when it's not perfect. It's seeing the flaws and still staying solid. It's not just being there when it's easy. It's being there when it's necessary. And when you find people like that, people who are 10 toes down no matter what, people who stay even when they're hurt, even when they're misunderstood, don't take that lightly. That's rare. That's gold. You protect those bonds. You show up for them the same way they show up for you. You keep them close, because those kinds of people make life better, make you better. But here's what a lot of people forget. You can't demand loyalty if you don't live it. You can't expect someone to be there for you when you're never there for them. Loyalty is a two-way street. And if you're out here breaking bonds, betraying secrets, chasing clout over character, you don't deserve loyalty. You attract what you give. So ask yourself, are you the kind of friend who shows up no matter what? Or are you only around when it's easy, when it's fun, when it benefits? Because the friendships that last are built on mutual respect, mutual sacrifice, mutual loyalty, not one-sided energy, not temporary convenience. Life is war. You don't want weak people in your corner. You want warriors. You want people who don't fold under pressure, who don't switch sides when it gets dark, who don't question their loyalty every time you make a mistake. Because real friends aren't perfect, and real friendships will go through storms, but loyalty holds it together when everything else falls apart. If your circle isn't built on loyalty, it's built on lies, and that kind of circle will collapse the second life stops being easy. Choose better, be better, stay loyal to those who stay loyal to you, and never confuse attention for loyalty again.
Let's be real. Most people in your life are comfortable watching you stay weak. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. They don't push you to get stronger. They don't challenge you to grow. They don't demand more from you, because deep down, they don't want you to change. Because if you change, if you level up, if you become something greater than you are now, they're forced to look at themselves and admit they've stayed the same. That's why key point 5 is simple but powerful. Real friends push you to be better, even when it's uncomfortable. You're not here to stay average. You're not on this planet to just exist, to just drift through life without direction or purpose. You're meant to evolve. And that evolution isn't easy. It's painful. It takes work. It takes sacrifice.
It means giving up your bad habits, your victim mentality, your lazy mindset. It means killing off the weaker version of yourself. And that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That kind of growth requires the right people around you. People who demand the best from you, not because they're judging you, but because they believe in what you're capable of. You see, most so-called friends just want to keep you at their level. They're not going to say it out loud, but they're terrified of you surpassing them. So what do? They keep you distracted. They invite you to party every weekend. They laugh when you talk about goals. They roll their eyes when you say you're trying to change. They mock the grind, belittle the discipline, and push you to stay stuck, all while acting like they're doing it out of love. That's not love. That's sabotage wearing a smile. A real friend will do the opposite. A real friend will hold you to a higher standard. Even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it pisses you off, they'll call you out when you're slacking. They'll remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. They'll check your excuses at the door and force you to look in the mirror. Not because they want to control you, but because they respect you too much to let you stay small. And let me make something clear. Being pushed doesn't always feel good. Growth never does. Sometimes it feels like betrayal, like someone's attacking you, criticizing you. But if you're feeling that sting, that tension, good. That's your weakness being exposed. That's your ego being challenged. And that's where the breakthrough begins. If you've got people in your life who challenge your comfort zone, thank them, even if it hurts in the moment, because that pain, that pressure, that's what forges greatness. I've lost count of how many conversations I've had where I told someone close to me, you're not doing enough, you're slacking, you're playing small. And you know what happens? Some get defensive. They disappear. Their ego can't handle it. But the real ones, they take it in. They go quiet, and then they get to work. Because deep down, they know I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm trying to wake them up. And that's the energy you need to surround yourself with. Not yes men, not emotional cheerleader warriors. People who look you in the eye and tell you the truth. People who want to see you build a body of steel, a bank account of power, a mind that doesn't bend under pressure. People who don't flinch when you get soft. They come at you even harder because they want you to become undeniable. Ask yourself, who in your life is pushing you to improve? Who's asking you about your goals? Who's challenging your routine? Who's making you uncomfortable? Not because they're toxic, but because they can. If you can't name anyone, that should scare you, because it means you're surrounded by people who are fine watching you rot in comfort. You need friends who aren't impressed by mediocrity, friends who aren't clapping for you just because you showed up, friends who say, cool, you did that, now what's next? The kind who see through your lies, who don't let you coast, who make you earn their respect every day. That's how empires are built. Not with comfort, with accountability. And if you've got people like that, understand they're not trying to dominate you, they're trying to elevate you. It's not about control, it's about belief. They see something in you that maybe you've forgotten, and they're willing to risk your anger, your resistance, your silence, just to remind you of what you could be. That's real love. That's real friendship. But here's the part most people don't want to hear. You also have to be that kind of friend. You can't just expect people to push you if you're not doing the same. If you see your brother slipping and you say nothing, that's weakness. That's cowardice. A real friend confronts. A real friend checks his circle. A real friend says, we're not lowering the standard just because it's hard. That's how you build a brotherhood. A real one. One where everyone is sharpening each other. One where no one gets left behind. One where success isn't just personal. It's collective. You rise, you slack, I call you out. I fall, you pick me up. That's power. That's strength. That's real friendship. And yeah, you'll lose people on the way. The weak ones will fall off. The ones who only wanted comfort, not growth. They'll ghost you. Good. Let them go. Your path isn't for the faint-hearted. It's for warriors. And warriors don't sit around coddling each other. They train. They fight. They win. So next time someone in your circle pushes you, don't get defensive. Don't make excuses. Don't run. Lean in. Listen. Use it. That pressure is a gift. And if you're smart, you'll return it. Because the people who really care about you don't just want to see you survive. They want to see you dominate. Let me tell you something that most people ignore. Your environment is everything. The people around you, the voices you hear, the energy you allow into your space. It all matters. You don't just become who you want, you become who you're around. That's why the sixth and final key point is crucial. Your real friends reflect your values, not your comfort, not your your values. And if they don't, they're holding you back, not standing by you. I've seen too many people trying to build a powerful life while surrounded by weak minds, trying to chase discipline while spending every weekend with people who glorify laziness, trying to build wealth while listening to people who worship comfort and complain about hard work. It doesn't work. You can't grow if the people in your circle have no growth mindset. You can't build if you're the only one laying bricks while the rest are just sitting around watching you sweat, offering nothing but distraction. You've got to look at your circle and ask yourself, do these people live by the same principles I do? Do they value loyalty, strength, discipline, honor, or do they just talk a lot and do nothing? Because when your values are unmatched, the relationship will always be off balance. It doesn't matter how long you've known someone. It doesn't matter how much history you share. If they don't align with where you're going, they become dead weight. You don't carry dead weight when you're climbing mountains. You cut it loose. Now listen, I'm not saying everyone in your life has to be a carbon copy of you. Diversity in thinking is fine, but value, those are non-negotiable. If you value discipline and they value comfort, you're going to clash. If you value loyalty and they value popularity, you're going to get betrayed. If you value progress and they value escape, they're going to keep you stuck. That's how people end up 5 years later, wondering why they never moved forward. It's because they were dragging people who didn't want to go. The truth is, who you surround yourself with either sharpens you or dulls you. That's it. There's no in between. You're either getting stronger or you're getting softer. And most of the time it's because of who you let in your space. You think it's your fault you're not growing? Sometimes sure, but a lot of the time it's because your environment is poisoning your mindset. Your so-called friends are feeding you weakness, excuses, distractions, and you're consuming it like it's normal. It's not normal. What's normal, or at least what should be, is a circle that calls you out, backs you up, and never lets you settle for less than you're capable of. That's the standard. That's what you should be looking for. That's what you should be becoming for others. Because again, it's not just about finding people who reflect your values. It's about being someone who lives those values so strongly that others are either inspired to rise up or forced to walk away. Real friendship is about mutual alignment. If you're grinding every day, waking up early, eating clean, training hard, reading, working, and they're still partying, sleeping in, wasting time, gossiping, how long do you think that bond is going to last before it breaks under the weight of your ambition? You can't keep dragging people up a hill they never wanted to climb. You've got to let go. And yeah, that's hard. Letting go of people you've known for years, people who once meant everything to you, that's painful. But ask yourself, is keeping them in your life worth sacrificing your future? Is their comfort worth your purpose? Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the results of your choices, not them. They'll move on. They'll find someone else to sit in comfort with. But you're the one who has to look in the mirror and ask yourself why you never became what you were meant to be. The real ones, they don't hold you back. They don't resent your growth. They celebrate it. They reflect it. They live it. When you raise your standards, they meet you there. When you commit to something greater, they're standing beside you, not behind you. That's how you know they're real. Not because they've known you forever. Not because they're always around, but because they live by the same code, the same values, the same mindset. And let me say this loud and clear. If you can't find people like that, it's better to walk alone until you do. Walking alone with values is a million times better than being surrounded by people with none. Don't fear solitude. Solitude builds character. Solitude lets you hear your own thoughts. Solitude forces you to face your flaws and sharpen your focus. And when you do finally meet people who reflect your mindset, it'll be powerful, because now you've become someone worth standing beside. You've got to get this straight. Values over vibe. Always. Values over entertainment. Values over history. You can laugh with a lot of people, but how many will cry with you? You can party with a lot of people, but how many will grind with you? How many will stand with you when the world goes quiet? How many will reflect the mission, the code, the discipline? That's what matters. So take inventory. Right now, look around. Who reflects your values? Who mirrors your discipline, your ambition, your loyalty, your fire? If they don't, it's time to make some hard decisions. Not because you hate them, not because you're better than them, but because you've got a mission, and your mission can't afford dead energy. You are the average of your circle. Make sure that average is elite.